Hello and welcome to the folding tutorial for F-80 Centurion, and as you can see, this plane is wicked. This is one of my very favorite paper airplanes. It's got this awesome jet-like appearance, and I love the way the template turned out as well. And it's not only cool, but it actually flies very well also. You can see all the layers locked together on the bottom, so it's very aerodynamic. And it has these nice vertical stabilizers which will help it to fly straight as well. Now this is a pretty advanced fold, so if you are new to origami you might consider starting with an easier plane, but if you are capable of folding this, I think you'll find that it is well worth it. So let me show you the plane in flight, and then I'll teach you how to fold it. All you need in order to fold F-80 Centurion is an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper. But if you are using the template, be sure to orient yours as I have mine here. We'll begin by folding the left edge to the right edge, like so. And I've already made my crease, so it'll be nice and easy. We're just folding in half. Once you have finished that, we're going to create a crease going from this top left corner, which is our folded edge, down to this bottom right corner. And the way I like to do that is I begin by kind of pulling the layer into that top corner, and you'll feel it kind of catch, and it won't pull any farther because that corner is closed. Maintaining that tension will help you kind of swing and line up, aiming for this corner. And once you get it lined up, you're going to make your crease. So I kind of just try to find that corner and tack it down, and then I just start in the middle here and brush outwards in both directions. And then I go back over the crease with my fingernail. And once I've done that, I'll go ahead and turn the paper over and fold this other side to match. And again, I'm just going to rotate this paper for my own convenience as I make this fold, but we're just going from this, our folded edge, the top corner, to the bottom corner of our raw edge of the paper. And you can do that by matching this corner up to that corner, assuming you got it correct before, but in any case, it's always better to maintain symmetry within your plane than to try to get a step exactly correctly if you missed that step and didn't get it exactly correct on the other side. So maintain the symmetry of your plane by matching this corner up to the corner beneath it. This corner to that corner. Okay, moving right along, we will actually open these up now. And you can see I'm going to go ahead and flip this over just so I'm matching the illustrations in the book. We've got our folded edge on the left edge again. Now we want to fold from this corner, the bottom corner of our folded edge, up to the top right corner. So again, for my own convenience, I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to begin pulling until this kind of catches at this folded corner. And then I'm going to swing the whole thing and try to line it up on that corner up there. And once I kind of get that in place, I'm brushing out from the center once again. And then I will flip my paper over and fold this corner to match that corner. And again, just rotating for my own convenience. Okay, now I'm going to open this all the way back up to this orientation here. What I want to do now is just fold this top edge to our bottom edge. I'm going to create what's just called a pinch crease in the middle. That means as I fold this down, rather than creasing all the way across this paper, I'm just going to pinch it right there, and basically that's just leaving a reference point for the next fold. And the next fold is just folding the top edge to that point. This time though, you do want to cross or crease all the way across the top edge of the paper. After doing that, I'm going to flip the paper over, and I want to fold this edge here, the right edge, to the center, and I'll do the same thing on the left edge as well. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a vertical crease that goes right through the intersection of our diagonal creases. So again, my own convenience, just rotating the plane, bringing that crease a little closer to my eyes so I can see my reference, but you're just folding into center. And we'll do the same thing on this side here. And we'll open the paper up. And next we're going to fold the outer edge to the crease we just made on both sides. But again, we're just making a pinch crease, and we'll make that pinch crease right at the bottom of the paper. So really I'm just pulling this bottom corner to that line there. You can see once I landed on that crease, I'm just going to pinch right there to give myself a reference point. And now, using all our references, we're going to create some creases. We have these diagonal creases here that run along our page. What we want to do is we want to create some creases that run parallel to those, and that's what all these references have been about. If we fold from this point here through this point here, it will create a crease that runs parallel to this one. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to grab the whole page just like this, and we're going to pull it, and look now, as I pull this back, I'm looking for, here is my reference point that I made at the bottom, and here where this line, this edge, or this crease here, intersects our center crease, that is my other reference point. So once I find my reference points, I just kind of tack them. I just stick my finger right on it and give it a little pinch, just like we did with the others, and I'll pinch this there, and that helps you kind of figure out where the crease is going to go before you commit to it. And now I can just kind of again work out from the middle and actually apply that crease along the length of the paper. And when I open this up, you'll see we now have a crease running parallel to this one. So let's go ahead and do that on this other side as well. Again, here is my reference point, as well as this pinch, which may be hard to see on camera. When I pull the paper over, I'm going to have to find those again. Here I'm following this line to where it intersects what is the center crease right there. And I just pinch it. And then I swivel this until I find where this pinch crease intersects the edge of my plane, edge of my paper. And I pinch that, and then again I'm just kind of beginning from the middle, working it and spreading it all the way across the length of the paper. And there again we have a crease running parallel to this one. Next we want to create creases that run parallel to these other diagonal lines, and our references for those points are, now we have this new point where we have this vertical crease and a new diagonal crease intersecting it. That is one of our references. And then we have where this horizontal crease intersects the edge of the paper. That is the other reference. So I'm going to rotate this again just for my own convenience, and I'm going to pull this whole sheet, or this whole corner this way, and I'm going to pull until I intersect this horizontal crease, and I'm going to tack it right there. I know that's one of my references. And then I'm swinging this, looking for my other reference, which is where this crease and this crease intersect. And when I open that up, you can see that I've got another crease running parallel to this crease. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Again, I'm just rotating this for my convenience, and I swing till I find this where it intersects this crease at the edge. And then I'm swinging this until I find where this crease and this crease intersect. And I know all of this pre-creasing is a lot of work and even pretty difficult, but I hope you'll feel at the end of this process that all of this hard work was well worth it. So now that we have all of this done, we've got a little bit more pre-creasing to do, and we're going to flip the plane over in order to do that. On this side, all of our creases should be mountain creases with the exception of this center crease and this horizontal crease. And what we're going to do is we're going to gather this crease right here, this diagonal crease, by putting our forefinger and our thumb on opposite sides of it and just kind of squeezing together so that we can grab that crease in our hand. And what we want to do is we're going to place the length of this crease along the length of that crease. So basically I'm just pulling the paper like this, and then I kind of place my fingers on top, and I want to land this portion right here on the crease, and I'm going to gently crease it right there. And then this far side, I'm looking to land this edge on this crease right here. It can be a little tricky to do this. And then once I do that, I can kind of work my finger along this whole edge, and I can even flip this behind and apply a nice strong crease to that. Okay, and I'll open that up, and we actually want to do that same thing for every other pair of creases, so of the diagonal creases. So we're going to pull this edge and land it on that crease. And I'll open that up, and now we'll pull this edge here, or rather this edge here, to this crease here. And again, I'm just rotating that for my convenience. You see me getting caught up a little bit on the instructions. That's because I know intuitively how to fold this plane just from rote memorization, but I'm referencing the illustrations in the book to try to make these steps match the way that I've illustrated them. So there you go, I've folded that one, and now again I'm going to take this corner and fold this edge to, or sorry, this crease to this crease. And again, I'm just rotating it enough for myself and pulling it like so. And there we go. So you can see now we have all of these creases set up. We are ready to move on to the next step, and this is actually a very cool one. But I'm going to go ahead and rotate the paper 180 degrees. I just like working with it this way. And basically I'm going to set these creases in a specific pattern. It's going to look a lot like an M. You can see this is naturally a mountain crease here. This should also be a mountain crease. I'm basically just reaching behind the paper and popping up the points I need. Let me go ahead and do that in several places, and you'll kind of see what I'm creating. So I have this general shape now, and you can see it's almost starting to represent an M. The top diagonals are all mountains. The middle diagonals are all valleys. And then again, we kind of have these mountains here, but actually these bottom diagonals no longer matter. They were just to help us create these middle diagonals. So we should have top diagonals, mountains, middle diagonals, valleys, and you'll see we have these little diamond sections between those. Now, these outer edges, our vertical crease is a mountain crease. And we want the little diamond section to be a valley crease. So we're just going to poke it. And you can kind of see there we're reinforcing that M shape. And I'll do the same thing on this side. We've got a mountain crease all along this crease, but we want just the diamond section to become a valley. And then the opposite is true in this central section where we have a long valley crease and we want this to be a mountain. So I'm reaching behind and just poking out that little diamond section. And now this paper is ready to be collapsed. I'm going to begin by just kind of pushing in from each side, and you can see it wants to fold along this M shape, and that's exactly what we're trying to do, and along these vertical creases. And I'm just going to push it in until it's completely flat, and then I'll turn it to this orientation right here. And while we have it in this orientation, you can see we've got this edge right here, and this edge actually runs all the way through the plane, or well, into the plane anyways. And I'm going to swing the plane open on that hinge and use that to create a crease that I want to run right in alignment with it. So let me show you exactly what I've done. You see this crease I've created runs right along that edge. And basically the way I do that is as I swing this open, I make sure that this edge here lands on this portion of the edge. And that makes sure that this crease is perpendicular to the back edge and in alignment with this one. And now I'll turn the plane over like this and fold this side open just the way I did the other side. Okay, and then I'm going to open this up like this, and you can see again we have this edge, and I want to make a crease that continues straight past, carries straight past this edge and is perpendicular to the bottom. So as I do this, I want to make sure this portion of the edge is landing on this portion of the edge that's going to be underneath it. Now I will flip this over and orient it like this. Next I want to actually stand this flap up, and I'm going to fold it in the opposite direction and position it just like this. Now this is a tricky step, and I'm going to do my best to make sure you can see it on camera. But basically we've got this fin here that we need to flatten. And the way we're going to do that is you can see it's got a pocket on the front of it. And I'm basically going to use my thumbs and just pull out on this pocket. And as I do that, my goal is to get this top point of the pocket and land it right here at the base of the pocket. So I'm going to pull and kind of double the pocket over and then use my fingers to flatten it like so. And then while I have it in this position, you can see those edges inside are not, let me turn it so you can see it in the light. These edges are not creased. I want to crease both of those edges. Okay, now that that's creased, I'll go ahead and flip it back around. And now I want to reach behind this and fan open this new pocket that's been created and flatten it, kind of pulling out, flatten it like so. And if you flatten it correctly, you should land this center crease right on the V of this kind of knockout that's been created in the plane. Okay, there you go. And next we have these diagonal creases already running along the plane. I'm going to take this right edge and fold it in on that existing crease, and it will create a new crease along this last portion of the wing. And you'll see part of that cross the center. My goal now is to just fold the portion of this top layer that crossed the center crease of the plane back over the center crease. So I'm going to rotate this again and just pull back this way. And you can see what I'm doing here is I'm going to create this crease and land it right on that center crease of the plane. Okay, and now I'm going to repeat those steps on the other side. I'm just going to fold using that existing crease and extend it out to the edge of the wing. And then fold the portion that crossed center back across the center. And your plane should now look like this. Now we'll take this opportunity to go ahead and open up the creases we just made. And we want to reverse these outer mountain creases. So I'm going to just fold this in on that existing crease like so. I'll do the same thing on this side. And then I'll go ahead and I want to fold the portion of this layer that went across this diagonal back over that diagonal. So, sorry, I'm rotating it again. You can see just folding this portion right back across the diagonal, and I'll do the same thing on this side as well. And now your plane should look like this. Next, I will go ahead and fold this point here to a reference point. I'm going to actually open this up. You can see the reference point is basically the intersection of these two diagonals. But that kind of gets covered up when I do this. There's this little diamond. It's the point of that diamond. I'm folding this to that point. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And now we're going to swing this whole side in, again using an existing crease. And you can see we have this tab that we're going to tuck in under this also tab of the plane. So swing in, tuck in, like so. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Swing, tuck this into the tab, and flatten it like so. Okay, and at this point I'm going to flip the plane over, and you can see, if you have not noticed already, we have our fins ready to go. Basically, I'm just folding, lifting this up on its existing crease, and folding it in the opposite direction. And again, I want to land this back edge of the fin on the back edge of the plane to make sure my fin crease is perpendicular to the back edge of the plane. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And now you can see when I stand those up, we have fins. So all that is left to do is fold the wings of the plane. And to do that, I'm going to fold the plane in half and orient it like so. Basically, you can feel a very thick section at the nose of the plane. And just above that section, it gets a little thinner. We want to begin our wing crease right about here. And it's going to travel straight back. And we want it again to be parallel to this bottom edge, perpendicular to the back edge. And so I'm just pulling this like so, finding that thick point and where it transitions to be a bit thinner. And folding down And to make sure it is perpendicular, I want to land this portion here right on top of this portion there. And once I've done that, I'll flip the plane over. And now I'm going to fold this wing to match this wing. Regardless of how I got the other wing, I want this to be symmetrical. And it really helps to land the back corner on the back corner of the other wing. Okay, and now when we open that up, you can see we're going to have what is a finished F-80 Centurion, and it is just an absolutely gorgeous fighter jet. Now, some things to note. When you let go of this plane, it has a tendency to have a dihedral angle. You really need to make sure that when you let go of the plane, the vertical stabilizers here are in fact vertical, because those wings have a tendency to droop. So that means when you're holding the plane, they may be pinched in a little bit like this. And also, you can angle the wings up just slightly when you're holding it, so that when you let go, they are level rather than sagging, which is called anhedral. You want to give it a little dihedral when it's in your hand, so when you let go, it is not giving an anhedral or drooping angle. And then again, try to adjust these vertical stabilizers to be actually vertical when you let go. So those are some tips. This plane usually flies very well. It doesn't have much of a tendency to dive down. It should glide very nicely for you, but it may turn left or right or corkscrew a little bit, in which case go ahead and refer to the problem solving section or the common problems section of the book. That will give you many good tips on how to address those problems. I hope you found this video to be helpful. As always, good luck flying your plane.